Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. With just 70 days left for the elections, what sort of role can the left parties hope to play in the formation of the next government? That's the key issue I should explore today with the General Secretary of the Communist Party of India, A B Bardhan. Mr. Bardhan, let me start with a simple issue. The left parties have repeatedly said that they will only support a non-BJP, non-Congress government at the centre. But in your eyes, which party represents a greater danger to India's unity and integrity? The Congress or the BJP?
At the moment, I think there is no choice between the two. The BJP, of course, is the traditional enemy number one because of its divisive communal policies, reactionary policies. But then the Congress has also not done well.
You're ducking the issue. The truth is that the left has reservations with the Congress over its economic policies, but when it comes to the BJP, you not only have reservations over the BJP's economic policy, but you have serious worrying concerns about its communal agenda. Surely, therefore, the BJP is the bigger threat.
Did I not say that it is the traditional enemy number one? But then I said, the Congress also has followed in its footsteps. In the matter of economic policies, the Congress-led UPA has almost continued the policies of the BJP-led NDA.
Except that when you supported the Congress-led UPA for 4.5 years, you were able to modulate and often control its economic policies. In fact, you took great pride in the fact that you did so. Do you really believe that you could exercise similar influence over the communal agenda of the BJP?
No, I don't think so.
So that's one big difference,
and we would never have tried.
So, but then that's one big difference. You can control the Congress's economic policies. You can't control the BJP's communal agenda.
But don't draw conclusions from that. Don't draw conclusions from that. In the sense that we are soft to the Congress, that we are not. Because if you have expectations from somebody, when we supported them, we had expectations that they will carry out the common minimum program. They started violating it almost after a year of the...
Let me put it like this. You had expectations of Congress which were let down. But at least you had reason to expect something of them. Of the BJP, you can't have any expectations because you know that the BJP, when it comes to its particular Hindutva agenda, is rigid. Again, that has to be one substantial difference between the two.
No, but I tell you, in real life, sometimes, if you know your enemy well, if you know the devil, you know that he is the devil. So you know how to deal with him. But if somebody pretends not to be the devil, but behaves like a devil, what will you do?
But you can change behavior. You can't change character.
Up to a certain point. That's why we said, you see, that we followed the policy of unity and struggle at the time when the UPA was there.
Let me put it like this. Given that in theory you can influence a Congress-led government, and given that you readily admit that you can't influence a BJP-led government, let me ask you a critical question. If the next elections throw up a hung parliament, as is widely believed to be the case, and the only way to prevent a BJP government coming to power is if you support a Congress-led coalition, would you be prepared to do that?
No.
No.
You are not visualizing. You are not visualizing another alternative. That is the alternative we are striving for. When we say a non-Congress, non-BJP government, we have an assessment.
But you haven't heard my question.
We base it on reality.
But you haven't heard my question.
No, I
said if the only way of preventing the BJP coming to power, if the only way is to support a Congress-led coalition, would you be prepared to do that?
No, I think you see...
So you will allow the BJP to come to power?
No. The BJP will not come to power. I can tell you the BJP in such disarray that in the entire race it will be third.
That may be your wishful thinking.
No, it's not my wishful thinking.
The people of India want to hear from you a clear answer. They don't care what it is, but they want to hear a clear answer. So let me repeat the question. If the only way of preventing the BJP coming to power is to support a Congress-led coalition, will you do that?
But you are forgetting that you are assuming something. You are assuming, for instance, that the Congress is in a position to form.
I am assuming that.
No, I don't think so.
I am assuming that.
I am assuming, my assumption starts from here, that we will be number one. Congress will be number two, BJP may be number three.
All right, let's put your assumptions aside and come back to my question. If the only way of preventing the BJP coming to power is to support a Congress-led coalition, will you support one? Or will you let the BJP come to power?
The BJP will not come to power.
You know, you're leaving it open, so people will probably think that you're prepared to accept a BJP government.
No, the BJP will not come to power. That for formation which will be third. What is the chance of it coming to power?
But if it's in your power to prevent it, will you exercise that power by supporting Congress or not? That's the question.
The people are exercising their power to prevent the BJP from coming to power.
So then the only alternative that I can interpret is that you're prepared to accept a BJP government, that you've actually equated the two parties to the extent that it doesn't matter to you if the BJP comes to power.
I have not. You are putting these things in my mouth. I am telling you again and again that I do not think...
I'm not putting them in your mouth. I'm extrapolating from your answers, the only extrapolation possible.
No, I think you are drawing a far-fetched conclusion. I do not think that the BJP will be in a position to come to power at all.
All right, let me put it like this. You refuse to actually answer the question as I phrased it. You're neatly sidestepping it. Let me put it a little differently. In your eyes, the person who pushed the Indo-US nuclear deal against your serious deep reservations and in fact in the process let down or backed off his commitment to you was Dr. Manmohan Singh. Would you be prepared to support a Congress-led government if Dr. Manmohan Singh was not the Prime Minister?
That presumes, you see, that we are looking at individuals, personalities. That is not it. We communists, we the left, look at policies. With or without Manmohan Singh, if those same policies are pursued, and if they have not changed at all, what is the question?
Hang on a second.
We broke with the Congress.
Hang on a second, you just opened the door for me. Are you saying that if the Congress were to give you a commitment that certain economic policies which you have reservations about would not be pursued, then you will be prepared to support a Congress-led government?
This Congress will cease to be the Congress then.
Well, that's another matter. Many parties have changed policies and continued as the party, so let's leave that aside.
It's not a question.
Let me come back to my question. If the Congress gives you a commitment that economic policies that you have reservations about will not be pursued, will you then support a Congress-led government?
Are you not assuming too much? You are thinking that the Congress, this leopard, will change its spots.
You're not answering my question. If the leopard is prepared to set aside certain policies...
If the leopard is prepared to change its spots.
But remember, the BJP set aside 3 of its cardinal policies to get support from the NDA in 98 and again 99. It's possible that the Congress may be prepared to set aside certain economic policies. Let me come back to my question because this is critical.
Why don't you ask this of the Congress?
No, I'm asking you
whether they are prepared to change their policy.
At the moment, I'm talking to A B Bardhan, not to Sonia Gandhi.
A B Bardhan does not think, you see, that the Congress will change its policies.
But if Congress is prepared to, are you saying to me that you will support them?
No, I am just saying that the Congress is reflecting the interests of the bourgeoisie. Number one. Number two, it has followed the US model of so-called neoliberal capitalism, of the so-called market economy deciding everything.
Characteristics
all
were true
this
of
has brought disaster on the world.
But those 2 characteristics were true of Congress in 2004 when you agreed to support them. They may remain true today, but they're irrelevant because they weren't obstacles earlier. They're not going to be obstacles now.
No.
So come back to my question. If the economic policies of Congress are your concern, and if after the election Sonia Gandhi, Manmohan Singh or Rahul Gandhi or whoever were to come to you and say, Mr. Bardhan, we will set aside these policies because you don't like them, then will you support a Congress-led government?
This is too much of an assumption,
No,
you
it's
see.
not. Because you see, all I'm asking is, are you opposed to Congress on principle or only on the basis of its policies to do with economics? Which is it?
You see, parties follow policies.
But policies can be set aside.
Parties don't exist, you see, in vacuum.
But policies can
They
be
are
set
acting
aside.
on behalf of certain class interests.
But policies can be set aside to come to power. Coming to power is the first principle of parties.
No, the BJP did it, and the BJP
and they spent 6 years in power as a
and the
result.
BJP was proved to be a hypocrite.
Well, Congress may be prepared for that. Are you prepared to support them? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think you
Not even then?
I don't think the Congress will do it.
All
you
right.
are making too much of an assumption.
You know,
I do not believe in that
Two
assumption.
interesting things about your answer is rather than giving me a clear yes or no, which is so easy to do, is actually you've sidestepped both possibilities. All the audience is going to conclude is that because Mr. Bardhan won't say either yes or no, he's actually leaving the door open. That possibility is there, but he's too embarrassed to acknowledge it because it would make a fundamental hypocritical position for him to acknowledge it today.
I think that the Congress would not be able to adopt such a hypocritical position, giving up its policies which it has followed for 5 years.
That's for Congress to decide, not for you.
So therefore I am saying, it's not for you to decide the Congress policies.
Let me put this to you. Would you be prepared to support a government where Congress was not in the prime ministerial position but simply a participant, if that was one way of keeping the BJP out? Would you be prepared to support...
How many assumptions? Look here. There's
only one assumption there. A UPA without Congress at the top.
Right at the moment, why should I talk about so many possibilities.
Because
Right
possibilities is what
right at the
elections are
present-
about,
no.
and people want clarity.
Clarity is that I
They
am telling...
vote for you on the basis of
Look,
hypothesis.
I am
Answer
telling...
that hypothesis,
Please,
that's honest.
Please listen to my answer. I think you see that the best option open for the country, in the interest of the people, in the interest of the nation, is to vote a non-Congress, non-BJP alternative.
But if the country
just
doesn't
imagine.
take that best option,
no,
you come to
I
my
can
question.
tell you. I can tell you. Do you think that it's a wishful thinking on our part?
Oh, yes.
We think.
Oh, yes.
No. We have drawn a number of parties in our pro-poll alliances.
I'll come to that in a moment's time, because that's very much the second half of this interview with you. But let me stick for a moment, just for another moment, to what I want to ask you. If one way, or perhaps the only way of keeping the BJP out of power, and you've accepted that that's your traditional enemy number one, is to support a government where Congress is a participant but not the leader.
I'll answer this question now. The only way to keep the BJP out of power is to vote for an alternative government which is both non-Congress and non-BJP.
And if that
because
doesn't
the Congress
happen,
can't keep the BJP out
if
of
that
power.
doesn't happen, then another way of keeping the BJP out of power would be to support a UPA.
No, we'll sit in the opposition. We will sit in the opposition.
But will you not oppose that government? In other words, will you allow it to continue as a minority?
Who?
A UPA government where Congress is a participant but not Prime Minister.
Let them run a government. We'll sit in the opposition if that comes to... If we are not able...
Right.
Listen.
And let me finish your
I'm
sentence.
answering the question fully. If such an alternative that we are visualizing on the basis of our assessment of the reality, that a non-Congress, non-BJP can come to power, firstly, because of certain poll alliances, and secondly, because of certain post-poll possibilities that are open up before us, and we are aware of them.
Yeah, and if that doesn't happen, then...
If that doesn't happen, we'll sit in the opposition.
And you will permit, as a minority, a UPA led by, say, someone like Sharad Pawar or Lalu Yadav.
Let there be.
Where Congress is a participant. Let there be. Let there be.
But we will sit in the opposition.
Yeah, you'll sit in opposition.
You asked me a question whether we will support. I am saying no.
But you will not bring down either.
Huh?
You will not bring down either. You will permit it to continue as a minority.
Look here. There was a government of the BJP-led NDA. We could not bring it down. The people brought it down. Leave it to the people.
Thank you, Mr. Bardhan. You've given me my answer, even though you've done it in a tortuous way. Let's take a break and let's come back and talk about the third front. How real and how credible is it, or is it unraveling? That's in a moment's time. See you after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate with the General Secretary of the Communist Party of India, A B Bardhan. Mr. Bardhan, let's talk about the third alternative or the third front. After an initial success, it seems to me that it's unraveling. You had an understanding with Mayawati in July, but now she refuses to share seats with the left. And as of February, it seems that Jayalalitha is going to take up the same position as well. So is everything suddenly coming to naught?
No. You see, every front has its hurdles. Hurdles have to be crossed.
But you're not crossing them, you're falling off them.
Let me pick up the first. You are wrong when you say that we wanted any deal with Mayawati. Mayawati's BSP, even before her, from the days of Kashiram, never had any pre-poll arrangements with any party.
Forgive
we
me.
never believed it.
The truth is that not only did you want to deal with Mayawati, but in July when I interviewed you, you said she was the best person to be Prime Minister.
Please listen to what question was asked and what answer I gave. Please listen. I said she does not enter into pre-poll arrangements, but she does enter into post-poll arrangements.
Well, then you have no certainty that she'll enter into one with you at all.
No,
it's
no,
even worse.
Certainly we have expectation.
Oh, expectations everyone can have.
Expectation is
you
based...
can even expect to win.
No, we are expecting to win, by the way.
No one else in the country is.
No, you are wrong. Now, incidentally, she is against the BJP, against the Congress, and she is campaigning on that issue.
The only thing that she's in favor of is herself. She isn't sharing any seats with the left. You had a breakfast meeting with her July when she led you to believe that she would be happy to join it. She then ditched you within weeks.
I am telling you a fact that at no stage did we ever open a talk with her on a question of sharing seats.
All right, I'll accept that. The public has a different impression. The public believes that she's turned her back on you, but I'll accept what you're saying. Let's come to Deva Gowda. It suddenly seems that Deva Gowda is taking a leaf out of Mayawati's book as well. He's told the Hindu that the JDS is going to go it alone in Karnataka, and his son is making it very clear that he doesn't think he's going to share any seats with the left. So once again, a critical ally at a critical moment has decided to turn his back on you.
You see, he has organized a rally on the 12th.
And at the same time, he's talking to Sonia Gandhi in Delhi.
And we are what is there?
And Jafar Sharif sups with him.
No, just because you see somebody sups with somebody or somebody talks to somebody, it doesn't mean that he has joined.
That's how alliances begin. Breakfast with Mayawati, you hoped would lead to an alliance. It didn't, but dinner with Sonia may well lead to an alliance with the JDS.
Breakfast with Mayawati will lead to a post-poll arrangement. I believe so. I hope so.
But you can't be certain. That's the point. And that's the big issue.
You seem to be very sure. Then you are a part of God.
No, I'm not a part of God. I'm just a skeptical questioner who doesn't take at face value the assurances you get. You're being gullible, aren't you?
Secondly, I said, we are hoping for that alternative on this basis that we have firmed up a number of alliances. I had always talked, and I told you in one interview, that I believe in state-specific alliances. There is no possibility of a national level alliance with all parties.
The problem is that the state-specific alliances you think you firmed up actually look very weak and wobbly. Let me give you the example also of Chandrababu Naidu. You insist that he's firmly on your side. The BJP insists that he's quietly talking to them. And the most important thing is that in '98, when he was convener of the United Front, of which your party was a critical member, he ditched you to support the BJP. How can you be sure that he won't do that again?
People learn from experiences.
Do they? He's talking to the BJP according to the BJP.
Once bitten, twice shy. Let me tell you, the BJP is telling a lie. He is not negotiating with the BJP.
How do you know this?
I know it.
How?
Because I know Chandrababu Naidu. I know Chandrababu Naidu.
Have you asked him?
Why should I ask him?
Then you don't know it.
No, he is not talking.
No, but